Hello, and welcome to Command Point. I'm Shane, and I'm here with another episode of How to Beat Astartes. So, what we're going to talk about now on this episode is how to beat Astartes with Orks. So, I am a lover of Orks myself. I know a lot of listeners are lover of Orks, and quite frankly, I think that Orks have a lot of tools already to kind of handle the new Astartes meta. What I mean by that is it almost seems like Orks in a lot of ways are already operating with the tools that they need for the new meta. When you look at some of the 9th edition codexes that are releasing, which are of course indicators of what's going to happen to Kill Team in the future, a lot of models are moving to 2 wounds, and as a result a lot of models weapons are becoming 2 damage, weapons that were 1 damage before. For instance, the Drakari Incubi, those are they're getting 2 damage weapons. Before their glaives were 1 damage, now it's 2. Some of the Drakari weapons that were 1 damage are going to 2. A lot of D3 damage weapons are going to 2. I mean, it's basically lots of 2 damage weapons. So when you look at Orks, in particular knobs, look at their power weapons. They have Big Choppas, AP1 2 damage. They have Kill Saws, AP4 2 damage. They have Power Claws, AP3 D3 damage. They have Snaz Guns, AP2 2 damage. These are really strong weapons, and these are the kinds of weapons that other factions are getting in their updates. As of this recording, I have no idea what Orks are going to get in their 9th edition codex, and I've heard rumors that the Ork 9th edition codex is possibly coming out this summer. Or maybe it'll be in the fall, but I think it's on the horizon. But what matters is right now in Kill Team, I think Orks already have decent tools to defeat Astartes. Starting with how to approach it from a subfaction perspective, I'm a big fan of Deathskull's Orks. I've talked about it on the channel before. I'm a huge fan of the knob-heavy style where you're running a lot of knobs with power weapons, whether it's Big Choppas or Combi Scorches or Kill Saws. And I think generally speaking, these are even better in the Marine meta because these are weapons that are actually, kind of kitted to defeat Astartes. And I think it's especially important with the Deathskull's rerolls because when you're fighting a Space Marine and you've got these 2 damage weapons, say you're running a Big Choppa, you're going to have 3 attacks with your Big Choppa, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. If you use the 1 CP tactic Crump'em, you can move up to Strength 8 when you're attacking with that weapon, so you'll be wounding on 2s. But it's only AP 1, so a regular Marine is going to get a 4-up save. Now, the way to leverage your Deathskull's rerolls is to make sure that the Astartes model that you're attacking is forced to make 2 saves against a Big Choppa. So, say you get 2 hits through with a Big Choppa and 1 wound, and you fail the other, that's a good time to use your Deathskull's reroll to force them to make 2 saves. Because they fail one of those 4-ups, that's a 2 damage Big Choppa, that's taking them to the injury roll. Obviously, with a Kill Saw, the way to handle Deathskull's rerolls against Astartes is just make sure you get 1 hit through, and then you're probably going to wound on a 2. And you probably won't even need the Deathskull's reroll. And since it's AP4, they don't get an armor save, you go straight to the 2 damage injury roll. That model is with the Kill Saw, he's a can opener, so to speak. He cuts right through that Marine armor. Looking at stuff like the new Storm Shields, giving them a 4-up invuln. Now, this is somewhat of a problem because it doesn't just give them a 4-up invuln, it adds 1 to their armor saves. So those Big Choppas I was talking about, they actually still get a 3-up save against the Big Choppa because it's only AP 1, so their 2-up becomes a 3-up. This means that you are going to have to leverage Power Claws and Kill Saws in the matchups. That being said, I've talked in the past as well about how I think Astartes is best used as a melee team, a melee-oriented kill team. Not that Astartes don't have really good shooting at their disposal, but I think they're best used as a melee team. This means, I think on a lot of open boards especially, you can run a flash kit against Astartes. Say you're in an open board and you put them in reserve and you drop them on your board edge in your deployment zone for free. and just set up shots. Or you can deploy them, you know, if there's a piece of terrain in your deployment zone, you can set them up there somewhere safe and just ready turn 1. And the profile for a snaz gun is you're getting 3 shots. If he's got a get, find, a squig, your ballistic skill 3, hitting on 3s at worst, and strength 6, so wounding on 3s, AP2, 2 damage. Pretty good chance that you're going to push through to an injury roll, especially when you consider that a lot of the time your flash kit is going to be hanging out with a couple ammo runs. So those 3 shots might as well be 5 shots when you account for the 2 ammo run rerolls. And then you've always got 1 CP for Deca, which makes it 6 shots, but accounting for the 2 ammo run rerolls, it's kind of like 8 shots, which is going to be enough to kill a Marine almost always. AP2 is a really good sweet spot, and 2 damage is perfect for disposing of Marines. As far as offensive power and being able to match the Adeptus Astartes and go toe-to-toe with them in combat, I don't know if there's a better team than Orks right now. Now, unfortunately, I know a lot of people really love Evil Sons and the boy spam, running a ton of boys with whether it's Shutas or Choppas. I don't think that that's going to be very effective against Adeptus Astartes, unfortunately. It was kind of effective before, because I know the math on getting 2 Choppa boys in with one wound Marine usually push to an injury roll just through volume of attacks and, you know, forcing them to make enough saves. Against a 2-wound Marine, that's just not going to fly. And against a Storm Shield Marine, where he gets a 2-up save against those 0 AP weapons, it's definitely not going to fly. So you can hope to outbody them and just play the positional game, but a lot of packets have kill 1 as a primary, meaning that if you're in a tournament where the primary objectives are kill 1, hold more, the Marines only need to hold 1, and then if they kill one of your boys, they're getting 2 out of 3 primaries. Yeah, you can leverage that you'll probably get more, hold more, so you'll be getting hold 1, hold more, but in a boy-heavy team, killing Marines is going to be really difficult. Yeah, you'll have 1 or 2 knobs to maybe push through and kill 1 Marine a turn, but they have Death Denied to protect that 1 Marine a turn. So it's really not a realistic possibility, in my opinion, anymore. I think Evil Sun still goes toe-to-toe with a lot of other non-Marine teams, but you just can't expect to leverage your offensive output with a horde of boys anymore in that matchup. So I think if you're going against Marines with Orks, I think a really good way to approach it is a knob-heavy Death Skulls team, leveraging the rerolls to make sure that they fail those saves, and just punching through enough Marines per turn that they can't death deny enough to keep their models alive. Marine models are going to be pretty expensive, so definitely seek to get anything off the table at least once a turn, because if you're doing that, you're going to win the game, chances are. Another reason I'm not a huge fan of the hordes is because of when you have things like Blood Angels running around for Astartes that get free 12-inch D6 hand flamers. Yeah, it's strength 3 against your T4, but you only need 1 win through to get to an injury roll on a boy. It's just going to make it so difficult to not just get onto them, but get enough boys on where you're going to threaten. And it's just a massive diminishing return, in my opinion. So if you're looking at it from the Death Skulls Knob perspective, you have the power weapons that all these other factions are getting incrementally through 9th edition Codex changes. You have these weapons already. So Orks are a fortunate one in the sense that they are kind of already equipped to kind of survive in this meta with what they have already. So I don't think they have the tools that Astra Militarum do as far as stifling them with big unkillable models and setting up a massive gun line, but Orks can deal with Marines in their own kind of crumpy way that more involves going toe-to-toe with them, as I've said before, winning in these battles, and just try to make sure that you fight first, because with the power weapons the Marines are carrying and stuff like Lightning Claws, even your knobs aren't safe. That being said, your knobs are going to be pretty safe against those hand flamers that I mentioned earlier, having 2 saves, or 2 wounds and a 4-up save. So definitely leverage that. Try to approach it from, I can kill them, I need to utilize this. With Death Skulls, you can, and I've said this before, a Nob heavy Death Skulls team is not that different from a melee heavy Astartes team, which is what we're going to be seeing. Nobs have two wounds. They've got a 4-up save instead of a 3-up save, but they're already rerolling charges, whereas Astartes need to take Black Templars to do that. They get the Salamanders rerolls from Death Skulls, which is really big. Furthermore, they get those Salamander rerolls from Death Skulls. So when you look at it, and you account for the fact that Orks have all these power weapons for budget, whereas if Marines want to take a weapon like a Big Choppa or a Power Claw or a Kill Saw, they're putting it on a model that's going to be far more expensive than the Nob that's carrying it for Orks. So Death Skulls Orks are, in a way, kind of like a combination of Black Templars, Blood Angels, and Salamanders all wrapped up in one. So you can really out-activate your opponent just from the movement alone, even without Evil Sons, just because you're rerolling charges. On top of this, you can leverage those rerolls and these super strong power weapons that you have to punch back against the Adeptus Astartes and give them something to worry about, other than, say, a plasma spam gun line at a tournament. On top of it all, I don't think the Astartes players are really going to expect an Ork team like this at most tournaments. So let me know what you guys think of this strategy and post them in the comments below. I'm really excited to continue the series and talk about more ways to beat the dreaded Space Marine meta that is looming on the horizon. We're going to see in just a few months what the results look like at the Atlantic City Open, one of the first big kill team tournaments since COVID, really. It's going to be happening over in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I myself will be there, and hopefully we'll see somebody come up with some other good strategies for beating Space Marines. Thank you so much to all of our subscribers, to all of our patrons. If you aren't subscribed, please do. I urge you to subscribe. And if you're really loving our content and you're already a subscriber, consider checking out our Patreon. You'll get access to some exclusive series, every other podcast, and you'll get early access to all of our videos. So once again, thank you all for listening. Have a good